Okay, so today's class is going to be a continuation of mapping and geocoding with Google Earth. Specifically, in the last class, oops, sorry, we talked about how we can do very basic mapping, create sort of thematic maps of in Google Earth. So uploading a shapefile, how we can upload a shapefile and show things like population and house prices as two different themes by extruding, say, the median house price over the population of different states. And then the other part of the class is what I want to talk about today, which is really how we can do geocoding with respect to Google Earth, right? So that's what I want to be talking about today. You know, so sometimes we have shape files or files, geographical data files that like KML files that are already geo-referenced, right? In the sense that they're tied to a specific location, like that shape file that we had of the lower 48 was geo-referenced to the lower 48 to match the boundaries of those types of things, right? But sometimes, a lot of times, we don't have specific files with geographical information associated with them. We only really have textual descriptions of things, right? So, for example, it could be example would be here, which is various different locations, projects, and the zip codes where they're located, right? Or it could be things like in a lot of my work, we might just have place names mentioned in social media posts, like University at Buffalo or um, um, hurricane Florida or earthquake or whatever, right? And so often we want to start geocoding this textual data to then be able to turn that data into information and then make decisions from those types of things, which is really what the purpose of sort of geographical information systems is all about. So geocoding is sort of the process of converting textual addresses or textual information to point-based information and then make a map from those types of things, right? And Google Earth allows us to do that. And that's really what I want to talk about in today's class. Geocoding is important because, as I say, there's lots of applications where we might just have textual descriptions. So, for example, um, hospitals, doctors, or things like that might only know the address. So when you go to the doctors or the dentist, you have to fill your address in, right? From filling your address in, the doctors or health practitioners can then just start geocoding that type of information and then work out, well, look, there's all these people in one area, but where should the new health center be, right? For example, what's sort of showing you in the bottom figure here. Um, health organizations will take geocoding in textual information. For example, cases of leukemia, right? It was a classic example back in the 1980s. And the health organizations in the UK looked at where outbreaks of leukemia are occurring, so people's home addresses based on and by geocoding that information, they could work out that the leukemia clusters were focused around nuclear power plants, for example, right? And this is work populated by a guy called Stan Openshaw. Um, you know, um, Emergency operators might say, ask you when you call, what is your address? And that's important for them to assign the nearest police officer to that address to come and help you, for example. Or the nearest police station to a certain location. So again, textual information can be converted to geographical coordinates and then help can be sent on their way. One of the largest applications is sort of cut in customer databases. So, Wegmans, places like that will store your can store your customer profile information, your loyalty cards. And again, that is geolocated information. If we understand where the customers are coming from, you can then do better site location for stores. Also understand where understand, what is your average, what is your demographic group. So, for example, if you had point location of all the people going to Wegmans, but you can overlay that information on top of this that census data, like social demographic data or house price data, you can sort of see what your customer profiles are like. So often grocery store managers and things like that maintains addresses of users, and then that can be used for target marketing or site selection and things like that. So geocoding is used in all walks of life, right? And the question is, how do we do that? And that's what we're going to talk about today in Google Earth. So if you guys are following along, on Wednesday, I asked you guys to download lab-free data from on the Week 7 website. If you have that still on your desktop or somewhere accessible, great. If you haven't got that information at the moment, please go and download that information again, so therefore you can follow along in today's lab. So I'll give you guys a second to either download it again, or just get that up and running, and also at the same time upload Google Earth, or open up Google Earth. And if some people can give me a thumbs up or something like that, if they've already got the data downloaded already, we can just then move ahead on this. So what we're going to do is open up a text file here, and the text file is called hospitals.csv. These are hospitals in Pittsburgh, so just random selection. And we just want to open up that text file or CSV file. So CSV stands for comma separated value file in Google Earth, right? So what we want to do is go to Google Earth and go to File, Open. And you'll see I have a CSV file called hospitals.csv. Let me just close this so it's not so messy. And we want to open that. And because we know it's a comma separated file, we can say the file is delimited by commas. So Google Earth can therefore read in that information. If you had a fixed width file, so columns are a certain width, you could do it like that. It's very similar to how you'd open up like a text document or something like a CSV file or TXT file in Microsoft Office, for example, right? And you can sort of see when we open this file, it's already realizing there's a name, there's addresses, zip code, and number of beds per hospital associated with this type of thing. We will then click next. And it'll ask us, does this data set contain a latitude and longitude? And the answer is no, because this is the purpose of sort of geocoding these types of information. So we'll click next. Now, the address, and then it says, now it's asking us, is the data set contains one address field? So is there one field containing all the information? Or is there not or is there field, or is the address split across multiple fields? Remember, the fields are basically the columns, right? So each object, like in the shapefile example, each row is an object, hospital in this case, and then you have fields associated with that object, right? So we know Google is clever enough to understand there's an address field, so it's already picking up that. We have a postcode field called zip code, right? Postcodes are sort of European or English versions of that, while zip codes are American examples. There's a message in the chat. Which file are we opening? We're opening up hospitals.csv. So that if you downloaded the data, it should be just in the data file called hospitals.csv. Hopefully that helped. Great, thanks. Okay, so we have that information associated with this, and this is what the other slides are showing you. Remember, these slides are on there. The other thing we want to do is we want to help Google help with geocoding. So we also want to add a country field. And there's no country field in the CSV file itself, but we know that these beds are in Pittsburgh. Therefore, we can say use a common value, USA, for geocoding. Yeah. So we can just use a common value field. We'll type USA, which tells us that it's going to the USA. Okay. Then we can just then Google's going to ask us next, after we've done that, it's going to ask us what are the data types, right? So you can sort of see here that we have name and address is strings, i.e. text, while zip code and beds, those are our integers associated with those types of things. We're going to press finish. It's now you'll see it's running a batch process. So what's happening now is what Google Earth is taking your CSV file, taking out the address and zip code information, and then querying Google's database of addresses, and from that trying to work out its latitude and longitude for those locations. And then it says, do you want to add it to the template? We'll say yes. We'll create a new template for multiple things. And then what we can do things with it, right? So once we have the basic information associated with this, we might want to visualize these points within inside of this type of thing, right? So if we go back to the interface, we can have icons, and we can set we can sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't work, by the way. This is an instance where the icon is not working, nor is sort of color associated with this. Yeah, so if this happens to you, and all you have to do is just close it. Unfortunately, you have to quit Google Earth, right? Let me just it'll show the icons now, but we have them, right? But sometimes the geocoding doesn't work, so I'm just going to quit Google Earth and start again. This is some Google Earth Pro. It's good, but sometimes it can also be flaky. So if you have this situation happening when you're trying to do your assignment for the lab, just quit Google Earth, and then we can just start again, right? So I'll run through this again. File, open, and it's going to be hospitals, open, and fixed with, comma, next, and there's nothing there. And we'll turn zip code to zip code. We'll use the value of USA. Press next. String, string, string. That's correct. Press finish. It'll geocode it again for us. We want to add it to the map. We want to create a new template. Icon. But this is funny because it was working literally this morning. Um, let's cancel that and then quit Google Earth again and try it a third time. Lucky. Was anyone able to get the icon thing working when they were doing it themselves or not? Yes or no? Benedict, you nodding your head. I'm sorry, I'm picking on you. You could get the icon working, right? So anyone else not be able to get the icon working? You need to put in the chat if that's the case. Um, so let's try it one more time. No, open, hospital, open, next. At least you get to see how you can geocode multiple times. Um, zip code would be zip code, value, USA, press next, into finish, running batch processing, yes. I create a new template, icon, still no option. Name. So I'm trying to work out an option here that would allow this for me to show you this thing here that I was showing you a second ago, with respect to this. But it was meant to look something along these lines. Maybe if I choose yeah, see, it's not even giving me the icon functionality at all. Actually, sorry, this is not this has happened only a few times to me in the past. That's why I say it's flaky. How many of you guys could get the icons being displayed? Can I ask? Just like, do you put in the chat? Yes, you have icons being shown. No, you don't have icons being shown. Yes. Anyone else? Can other people put in? Do they see the icons being added to it? No, you don't see that. Okay. So you having the same issue I'm having. Okay. Let's try. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to just try one more different thing, which is I'm going to quit Google Earth again. Um, because it might be caching it. So this is one of the problems I'm having. Jason says no neither. Okay. Um, okay, we'll try this one import. Let's try an import function. Hospitals, CSV, tab delimited, uh, address field, um, zip code, uh, it's called value, USA, press next, finish, bring it back to geocoder, yes. Done. Okay, let's see who else has the other file I have for this. Um, that's what I'm wondering if the other data set will work. But it doesn't help. So if I try opening, I'm going to try opening up fastfood.csv. Again, it's comma delimited. There's no latitude and longitude associated with that. We have um, address. No, sorry, we have zip code. We'll use USA. Press next. Press finish. Yes. I want to create a new one. Aha. See, now it works, right? So, see, this is why I say this. Yeah, I think it's cached on my side. Well, we'll use the um the fast food one as an example, right? Because it's the same principle, right? So you can choose icons. So for example, I can choose this icon. So all the fast food places in Buffalo have the same icon set. I can choose the name of the restaurant if I wanted to. So if I want to choose the name for the different restaurants, I can say that do that. I can choose the icon to be this, or I can set the icon from a field. So in this example, and this is sort of your project, you have McDonald's and Burger Kings. I could also say alter, choose the icon from the McDonald's or Burger King, choose separate icons, one for McDonald's, so red, one for Burger King, blue or green or whatever. But I'll just say use the same feature, press OK. Fast food, if you want to, press save. And now it'll show you the icons for McDonald's. It won't show you them because the layer not being selected. If I select them, we can have McDonald's, Burger King, and things like that being shown on the map, right? Um, let's try one more time the hospital one just to see if that can work now that it's an imported one. So let me just try one more time. Open hospital, open. zip code, country code is not applicable. We'll use A, go to next, press finish. We want to add it to the map. We want to create a new template. So now it works, right? Sorry. So this is what I was trying to say. So for the hospitals, we can choose a symbol. We can set the name to to um, to a thing. So if I went back to here, pressed OK, and then hospitals, let's call this V6, I think it is a really good one example. Save that. And then show those hospitals. So I'm sorry about that, but this also tells you the frustration one gets with dealing with GIS software to some extent. But also, you know, if it doesn't work the first time, what you have to do is just quit Google Earth and try uploading it again, is what I'm sort of getting at here. So here we see the hospitals in Pittsburgh. Each one would have a label associated with that, and so forth. For that. So just a quick quiz on Zoom here. Could people understand how to upload the points and then also get the icons working? Like and if it didn't work the first time, quitting Google Earth, upload and doing it again. Did that work for most people? If you could write in the chat, yes, then awesome. So people got that. Okay, great. So when it comes to your project, you know, hopefully you don't have a problem with those types of things, right? So you can visualize the results in Google Earth. As with the polygons that we did earlier, you can also make a map of this type of thing if you want to. So if we went back to here and went back to make map, we can have our legend. We can alter that. Instead of feature one, we can say hospitals, and then close that. And we can then edit the map and say hospitals in hits. I'm not very good at spelling. Berg. You say points show the location of hospitals, and then close that. And again, if these are too small to be read, you can then go to your scaling factor, increase the scaling, so therefore people can more easily see. And you can also work out, you know, the distance sort of between the different hospitals within Pittsburgh. And of course, you would expect hospitals are more centered in the city center where the population density is higher, therefore potentially greater demand for easy accessibility, versus hospitals in further locations further away, within side of these types of things. So, and if you're happy with that map, you can then just save that map as an image. If you wanted to, like we did last time, so you need hospital, and then press save. And if you went to your desktop, where I've just created that, you'll see the hospital map that we've just created. If you open up that thing, so you can then share that map with other people if you so desire. You know, you can also, if you're not happy with the visualization, right? So I'm just going to go out of this. We can alter this. So if we go to File, and then sorry, if you go to here, edit, you should have an option for style template. We can create a new template or use an existing one that we've stored. We'll just create a new one here. So at the moment, I don't like how it's displaying the addresses because that's what's happening. I'm going to change that to name. Icon. I don't like the icon as just push pins. I want to give it some meaning. So I'm going to say hospital. So I'll try to find a symbol for hospital. H, I guess would work for that. And then I can press OK. Hospitals, new template. So we hospital with I'll call it hospitals with symbol. Symbol. Press save. And now you can sort of see by changing the template, I can alter what's happened there. So again, if I went back to edit, apply style template, I can have hospital with symbol, and that will also change that. If I chose hospitals V1, which is an older template, it would show the same because the older template has what would be that. But if I want to go back to here, go to edit, style template, create a new one, and again, we can change around. So if I want to show a zip code or something like that in the primary field, that's being labeled, I can do that. Or if I want to change the icon, I can do that. Or if I want to set the icon from a field value, so for example, maybe beds, right? I can then choose the number of buckets I want for beds. So here, maybe the beds range in different sizes. And then I can choose, icons from if it's small versus larger icon, or small to large. You can sort of differentiate different sizes of hospitals with respect to the number of beds in the data set. And again, you can alter these types of things. And then you press OK. Hospitals, I will call this hospitals, underscore beds, press save. Now I'm showing the hospitals with different symbols representing different sizes of beds, or vice versa. Okay. If you went back to the fast food example one, which I'll just go back to here, you might want to differentiate McDonald's and Burger King as two different types of restaurants, right? So again, you'd go to the CSV file, go to edit, sorry, I'm in the wrong edit. Make sure that the fast food is being selected. Edit, style template, create a new template from that. And then here I might want to have icons separated by, say, name. So I'm separating Burger King's and McDonald's. And I want to create McDonald's being red and Burger King being blue. Press OK. And now I have a map. Of Burger King's and McDonald's differentiated by color. Again, I can make a map of this. It's not going to, so what's happening here is it's not being refreshed because of the hospital map, right? So if you're going to do that, if you want to make a new map here, you would have to therefore just kill the old map, quit Google Earth and start again inside of this. So this is one of the, again, one of the things. Or you can say refresh the view based on what layer is being selected, right? So I have Burger King, McDonald's, it knows what's being displayed there. All I have to do now is change the location, fast food, and alter that, fast food, just to give you an example. And you can then have a new map of fast food places, say in Buffalo. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense, and And to test, so now that I've shown you how to do geocoding, and if you have problems, you have to just quit Google Earth, start again. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. This is just the name of the beast in this example. What I would like you to do for your assignment here is basically make two maps. One is of a polygon map. So here there's going to be a new shape I'll call Metro 48. If you go back to your lab data, you'll see the Metro 48 shape files already in the download folder. I want you to make a graduated color map, so variations, just like we did for the states and the population in buckets, right? Um, and then submit the map with a map title, a legend, a scale bar, and a north arrow. All map elements should clearly be visible, so you have to change the zooming functionality. Remember, if you're not happy with the visualization, you can go to map options and also the scaling with respect to that. And then the other one would be to just do copy what I've just done with the fast food CSV. So using Google Earth, submit a map image of the geocoded fast food restaurant in Buffalo of Burger King and McDonald's, right? And you should use a different icon to represent both Burger King and McDonald's. That should be quite straightforward, right? So this is relatively straightforward. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to do this, but it shouldn't take you that long. And also, we're going to finish class a little bit early today, so you can spend time doing it now. And if you have any questions, you can ask me on this. Like normal, assignments that are late will be deducted will be deducted 1 point for every hour it's late. The data itself, you can either download it from the class website, or that should be week 7, not week 8, I apologize. Or it can be downloaded from UB Learn itself. So if you went back to your tests and assignments, you'll see lab 3. Under lab 3, you'll have the instructions, what I've just given you, and the data for the lab. And yeah, and then just run from that. And just to give you an idea, if you look at the Metro 48 shapefile, you'll have basically, these are metropolitan statistical areas. So the US Census Bureau classifies areas or metro areas based on population size and who commutes where in those areas. This is what that file is showing you. And metro, so you have the metropolitan area name, the title of the metropolitan area, where it is, which region in the US it's in. You have a population from 1990, the population in 2000, and how it's changed over those two periods, right? So the percentage change between them. So you can sort of see that Aladdin, Texas, has grown by 8%, while Alexandria has decreased by 3%, right? And so the population, so that's what those attributes are. So going back to the requirement here, make a graduated color map and a 3D map of that. So you might want to say, what we could do, for example, would be to show population in 2000 as the base map, and then extrude based on percentage change to show how that area increased or decreased over time. So that would be one example, right? Or you could say population 1990 and how much it's changed. So that's what I would do in this example. The other fast food one, you sort of see, you'll see Burger King and McDonald's and the zip code. All you have to do there is basically create a map of points, so geocode the points, upload them, and then create a map of those types of things. I'll stop there. Is there any questions that anyone has?